Rest in power, Thulani Maseko.
Rest in power, Thulani Maseko.
Justice for Thulani Maseko.
Justice for Thulani Maseko.
Justice for HRDs.
Justice for HRDs.
Justice for HRD.
Justice for HRDs.
Hiya, 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 hiya,
Hiya, hiya.
hiya, hiya,
Hiya, hiya.
hiya, hiya,
Hiya, hiya.
hiya, hiya.
Hiya, hiya.
Justice for HRDs.
Justice for HRDs.
Justice for Thulani Maseko.
Justice for Thulani Maseko.
Rest in power, Thulani Maseko.
Rest in power, Thulani Maseko.
We stand here as human rights defenders in Nakuru under the umbrella of the Nakuru Human Rights Defenders Network. We were joined by the Law Society of Kenya, the South Rift branch, and the journalists, soldiers of justice at the grassroots level. We are here in solidarity with Thulani Maseko and his family and all human rights defenders the world over. His death is unfortunate. He didn't have to die. You don't have to die for others to live. But it happens time and again that human rights defenders will be killed so that those who hold power can sustain their positions in power. So today, we would want to demand the United Nations Security Council to discuss and take stern action against the kingdom of Mswati. We know that the UN has got the mechanisms to institute investigations that would eventually ensure that the killers of Thulani are brought to book. We want the UN to seize the moment and ensure they bring to an end unwarranted extrajudicial killings involving human rights defenders. The UN has a framework and a mechanism to conduct in-depth investigations. The UN has got a framework and a mechanism to sanction any state, be it a member or a non-member, if found culpable of infringing upon the rights of others. We are not asking any other less authority than the Secretary General of the United Nations to issue a statement condemning this heinous act and committing that the UN would take appropriate action that will ensure justice for Mswati. Closer home, would wish to call upon the African Union, particularly through the African Commission on Human and People's Rights, to also send a team to the kingdom to investigate and ensure that the men and women who may have taken part in the murder of our colleague are brought to book.
Rest in power, Thulani Maseko.
Rest in power, Thulani Maseko.
We wish to reiterate on behalf of the Law Society of Kenya that injustice anywhere is injustice everywhere. And also wish to say that as Kenyans, though we are miles away from Mr. Thulani or his country and the injustices going on there, we are aware that this goes on even in our neighboring countries, and it is something that we need to show solidarity with our brother, and that we are together during this period, even with the country of Mswati. So as human rights defenders, and on behalf of the LSK, I would wish to show solidarity with him today, and also promise to fight for human rights always, whenever they happen, regardless of the location or the country which this infringement of human rights may happen.
Nataka roho yangu iende kulinda nafsi zetu.
For what has happened to Thulani Maseko is anything that can happen to anybody. As we stand strong in solidarity with Maseko Thulani, I'm telling those people who have been granted that permission to help others. To be specific, the officers given an opportunity to protect and also to fight for every part to be in a position to have his or her own justice provided, excused, expensed, just to take this as an opportunity that can also happen to anybody. You can be killed today, tomorrow you are the person to protect somebody. So my request for those maybe who have happened to be part of the trend to have killed a number of people of human rights defenders, also to be aware that the world as it moves towards the person they are targeting, also it is moving towards them. They should remember there is God as the soldiers of solidarity for this Thulani Maseko. We are requesting the justice to be expensed as quick as possible. Let just be delivered. Purposely for Thulani Maseko, who has lost his own life in front of the family, in front of the children and the wife. It is something you are condemning as the human rights defenders that we stand, and we stand so strongly to defend those people are fighting for justice for the people in the community and the institution within the environment and the areas where they live. Hiya, 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 hiya.
Human rights defenders normally face a myriad of challenges, and sometimes in the course of their work, they are persecuted by the powers that be. Some of them, like Thulani, end up being assassinated because of speaking truth to power. So we recognize that the work we do sometimes exposes danger to us, especially from people who may want to hide the truth. Someone like Thulani was fighting for democracy in his country, and people in power felt threatened. So it is the same situation even in Kenya. We have lost human rights defenders in the course of doing their work. Basically, they are doing issues of accountability, and then in the process they get killed or harmed physically. So this is the situation that we normally have in our country, in that human rights defenders are not safe. And it should also be noteworthy that we don't have a protection mechanism in terms of a policy that speaks about the work of human rights defenders. So sometimes this lack of regulations basically may expose us to dangers like persecution and all that. That is why it is important for us, when something happens like this, we come together to basically show solidarity. What has always been our strength is basically when we are together in numbers. That is always our strength. That is why we normally take the opportunity to normally come out together when something of this nature happens. So it is not a situation that is unique to Eswatini. Here in East Africa, we have seen human rights defenders being attacked, especially by government from the work they do.
Hiya, hiya, lalayo. Oh.
As this candle lights and when it goes off, so is the life of Thulani. But his light remains in all of us as human rights defenders. In the pain that his family is going through, we share the same. And it saddens me that we still have human rights defenders going through this kind of pain again and again. And as Africans, as human rights defenders, again and again we condemn the acts of murder against Thulani, against any other human rights defender who's been shot dead, who's been killed by evil powers of the government. Power to you, Thulani. And as you rest, we will not rest until your justice is found.
Justice for human rights defenders.
Justice for human rights defenders.
Rest in power, Thulani Maseko.
Rest in power, Thulani Maseko.
Hiya, hiya.
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 Hiya, hiya.